Wanted to make one last video for the 23 WRX, kind of showing some of the E-tune results. I wouldn't call it custom, I guess they're custom E-tune results. I've got boosted performance, Graham, and D-Man Anthony's tunes up here compared to the Cobb Stage 0. So this is the 23 WRX with a ETS intake, ETS top mount, Cobb charge pipe, the Perrin turbo inlet, and a AWE catback, which probably doesn't really do all that much. But anyway, those are the mods. So again, ETS intake, Perrin inlet, Cobb charge pipe, ETS top mount. There's an AOS on there as well, and the which doesn't really do anything for performance in AWE. So anyway, so let's see what we got here. The blue is these are uncorrected. These are just the raw numbers. The blue, and this is virtual dyno with smoothing at 1. Actually, we'll set the smoothing at 2 to try to clear it out a little bit. The road conditions aren't that great. This is 91 Arizona gas. So blue is boost performance Graham. Green is the D-Man Anthony tune, and red is the Cobb Stage 0. I think the roads these are third gear pulls, so maybe being a third gear pull is making it a little sporty on the numbers, because I really think it should be more like 264, maybe even 250 given the gas here for the Cobb Stage 0. So it's more just a comparison and the bump. But you can see that torque curve pretty darn close for both these tunes. You know, there's road variation here, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt, but big gap between the Stage 0 and either one of these tunes. Horsepower kind of ends up being about the same. Big gap through, you know, the meat of the power band, and then it starts to tighten up towards the end because you start to run out of legs in the turbo, and the fuel's not so great. But you can see the green again is the boosted performance. What I saw is that Graham's tunes with boosted performance versus D-Man Anthony, Graham seems to keep pulling a little bit more horsepower into the higher RPMs. D-Man's kind of trail off. Let's see, about 5,500 RPM, they start trailing off a little bit. So I mean, I don't know, I think most of your usable power band, they're about the same. Looks like you get a little more torque out of the D-Man tune, but again, the roads vary. One of the biggest differences I noticed, again, you can see, so the green is Graham's tune. He runs a lot less boost than Anthony does. And the timing's where the difference is between these two. So towards the tail end for my 91 tune, you were seeing boosted performance Graham's running closer to 6 to 7 degrees. And Anthony kind of topped out at 2 degrees. So where Anthony's adding more boost, Graham adds more timing. The net result's pretty darn close. Graham is also more conservative down here, the earlier phases of spool. With the fuel, he runs a lot richer. He pretty much runs 11 to 1 all the way out. You can see Anthony comes in a little leaner. He's going to get a little more performance out of that too, but he comes in a little leaner and then comes out to about the same 11 to 1. I'd say around 4,200 RPM. They're pretty much the same. It's just different methods. You can see the stock one was red, and it's running way leaner, but of course it's running way less boost than the red here. So it's interesting though that the Stage 0 they start to step up the boost to try to get that flatter torque curve. And you can see that the red Stage 0 is pretty darn flat in the torque curve, where the tuned ones, it's still fairly flat, but it's gonna peter out. The turbo's only got so much in it, and the higher RPMs and the heat. Anyway, so again, this is, you know, junk Arizona gas. Still doing pretty good. I mean, if you scale these back, I think you're looking in the 290 range and like the 350 foot-pound range for your wheel, which, you know, given that this engine is like 250, 250-ish, somewhere, or 260, 250 stock, it's pretty good gains for not a lot. I'm moving on to a different car. I traded in the WRX over the weekend, so I've got a Mercedes GLA 45 AMG, which just makes this thing, even with the tune, it makes the WRX look like it's standing still. That 4-cylinder that Mercedes has is incredible, and anyway, we'll do probably a couple videos there, but I won't be messing with that from a tuning perspective because that car's just too expensive. So yeah, I mean, I think, you know, those are two great tuners, D-Man and Boosted Performance. You can't go wrong with either one, just different methodologies. I will say that Anthony gets back to you a lot quicker. He was a 2 to 3 day turn, 3 days worse. Graham's pretty busy. He's pushing like 3 weeks. So they'll get you Graham will get you the initial tune pretty quick, but it'll take him a few weeks to get you back another update, where Anthony was flipping them every 2 to 3 days. So it's just what you like and what you're willing to wait for. Some say that Graham does a little more with the valve timing. You know, I'm not an expert, so I don't know, but they seem to have pretty similar results. Neither one of them showed any real knock, a lot less than factory. Sorry, it's gonna be a long video, but we'll go real quick into the feedback knock. So this is the stage 0 tune. I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep this in frame. Here's feedback. So look at this. So feedback is in maroon, fine knock learn. So you're getting feedback in the beginning phases, and the learn's cutting out from just, or not cutting out, but dropping the timing just from the daily, what it picked up. So there's activity here. If we go to, who's who, this is D-Man in blue. Here's your feedback and you're fine. Nothing, all 0. Go to the Boost Performance with Graham. Here are the 2, nothing. Flat for both of them. And I can say from a fair amount of street driving, you pick up a little bit in partial throttle, but it's like in the 1s for feedback, and very rarely see anything in the learned. So they're both great for drivability. The stage 0, the dam, oh yeah, again, both the tune from Anthony and from Graham, D-Man and Boosted, neither one of them dropped the dam during daily or during the pulls. The stage 0, the dam dropped a lot. And it come up, drop. So it's definitely not optimized for the crappy gas here. So, I mean, I think it's actually safer to run these tunes, but of course you've got to deal with the warranty implications. So anyway, hope the comparison's helpful. I think they're both great tuners, pretty reasonable in price, and it's a way to really wake the car up.